back. Yay. So first of all, I sound blah because I feel blah. So there's that. Second of all, if I talk too loud or too soft, it's because I can't really hear quite because my what is it called? Like your equilibrium. I feel off. So just FYI. So if you hear me talking loud, let me know. Audience, if I'm talking loud, I'm sorry. And then third of all, welcome everyone back. I, of course, love collaborating, love talking football, love bringing people on my channel, and love doing series. Apparently, like that's my thing. So what better way to bring in the 14 NFL teams that are going to be in the playoffs, talk to them about their teams, their season. And I'm actually pretty honored that I believe almost everybody I talked to in the summer, I'm talking to them again as almost like a follow-up. So it's kind of cool that we got like how good do you think your team's going to be to your team is actually in the playoffs. Like, how did that go for you? So obviously this is the Vikings. The Vikings, in my opinion, have probably been one of the more shocking teams. I thought they would be good. I didn't think they would be great. I think is the best way I can put it. Like, I'm not shocked that they were winning games. I'm shocked that I think they're a really great football team. Like, they have all the makings of a great football team. So how are you feeling as a Vikings fan? The season, for everybody that is aware, this is being recorded before week 18. So before the big showdown to see who's going to win the division. So we're not going to talk about the division game. So when you see this, you already know who won. If any big injuries or anything crazy happens, we will not talk about it. So just prefacing that. So people aren't like, why didn't y'all talk about Jefferson's great catch? Well, it hasn't happened yet. So congratulations on that great catch, Jefferson. Way to go. So how do you feel the season has gone? How excited are you for a chance to win the NFC North?
Yeah, it's exciting. It really is. And, like we touched before we hit record, I mean, if you're a Vikings fan, it's a roller coaster of emotions. And every season, for the most part, it's close games. It feels like at least the last 4 or 5 years, whether it's been a good season or an up and down season or a good season, it's up and down. It's tight games. It's down to the wire. Years of being taken off my life every Sunday, and but I wouldn't have it any other way. A win's a win each week, and to sit here and at this point before week 18 has officially got here, at 14 wins. It's amazing. It's
I love
what a
that.
ride it's been. Yeah.
Yeah. When did you think the first time this year where you thought, you know what? This might be like, hold on a minute. Like, is this defense that good? Like, when did you kind of start to think like, what if this is our year?
I'd have to go all the way back to week 3. I think it was that early. We blew Houston out 34-7. We had, and CJ Stroud's kind of had a kind of a sophomore slump, but I do think he's a good quarterback. I think he will be one day. He'll be at an upper level and maybe even elite. But that's yet to be seen. But he's a good quarterback. That's a good offense. That's a very good defense too. Mm-hmm. And we put 34 points on that defense, and we held that offense to just 7. I was like, this might be something. The week before we played San Francisco, we beat them. It was a 1-possession game. It was a back and forth game. Couple turnovers, traded. I was like, okay, we got Purdy something specials going on. Yeah. And I was like, okay, we might be doing a little something here against, we beat San Francisco. But when we got to Houston, or when Houston came to us and we put 34 and held them to 7, I was like, okay, this defense is really good, which I kind of had a feeling it would be. But Sam Darnold is doing this thing, and if this continues, this might be a good season. And I predicted it would be a good season.
You did.
I didn't think it was going to be this good, but
I was going to say, to be fair, you did, and the things I feel like that you were excited about were normal. I think the one thing, obviously, JJ McCarthy gets hurt, but so you were really excited about him. But honestly, I feel like Sam Darnold he's almost like right on time. Like he's right. Like this is the moment they needed him, and he he's right where he needs to be. So
yeah, it's come down to coaching with him and with Kevin O'Connell, and of course everyone's kind of documented it now. He's kind of been dubbed the quarterback whisperer. And I kind of had a feeling Sam Darnold. I had a feeling he would start the season anyway, whether McCarthy was hurt or not. I had a feeling they were going to kind of take it to, they're let him kind of start, give him the opportunity. But once McCarthy went down, which was after we had talked the previous time,
it was,
he went down, and I'm like, well, this is his time to prove everyone wrong, and with coaching and just the confidence that he has, you can see it each week. It grows and grows.
Yeah.
I had a feeling it was going to be. I had a feeling we were going to be decent. I didn't know we were going to be outstanding, but I had a feeling we were going to be decent.
Yeah. No, I didn't know. So I just wasn't sure. Some teams, and again, obviously the Vikings aren't my team, so I don't know the ins and outs and all the things. But I just remember one day I looked up and I thought, God, they look pretty good. And I didn't know why, I didn't know how. And then it's like the more you watch, the more you're kind of like, they have the things, right? You have the receivers, you have the defense, you have a quarterback who I always say is just like a don't blow it quarterback. If you can go win us the game, great. But like, just don't blow it, like don't do stupid stuff. And yeah, I mean, I like it. I like seeing teams come out of nowhere and people are kind of like, wait, who? Okay. Huh. They're good. All right. So I like it. What surprised you this year? Was being good the thing that surprised you, or being great the thing that surprised you, or was there something else that surprised you?
Yeah, 14-2 definitely surprised me. I predicted 11-6 with a wild card berth. I didn't have any idea 14-2 and coming down to the wire against Detroit on this coming Sunday night, for everything, for the number one seed and for the North. That's definitely surprising. I would say Sam Darnold, yes, I kind of felt that he would live up to his, potential 6 years ago, being drafted 3rd overall. I had a feeling he would have a sort of a Cinderella story. I didn't think it was going to be this good, but I had a feeling he was going to be okay. He was going to be fine. Like you said, just go out there and do your job. Don't blow it. Just stay on script. And that's been a surprise as well.
I love that.
And the defense, even though I knew the defense would be good, I didn't think he was going to be this good. There's a lot of new names and faces on this defense, and they've come in and they're playing like they've been together for 4 or 5 years now. And a lot of these guys have only been around each other for one season, and they're clicking. And it's been a huge surprise. The whole thing.
I love that.
Been, yeah.
I wouldn't be honest. So okay, this is going to I want the Lions to win.
Wow.
the NFC North, but go with me here. I think it adds more fuel to the fire. Now, listen, I'm an AFC North girl. I'm in the AFC North. I've been in the Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, blah. And history tells me that the team that has been struggling the longest in the AFC North, it's the Bengals or sometimes the Ravens. When they win and they're on top, and then the other teams get to come in and try to take away their claim at home, those games for a fan are fantastic. So I am biased because I want chaos, right? So for me, I'm if the Lions win, they'll be home. It'll be crazy. All of these games are going to be crazy. So I'm selfish in my assessment. However, honestly, let's be real. I don't care who wins. I think the Lions having home field advantage and seeing everybody go crazy would be fun. I also think the Vikings have the best pregame ritual probably in football. But the Seahawks, if they were good, I think it would be better. So I don't really, at the end of the day, I'll be watching. But when I think about it, I'm there's something about a team that used to be terrible being really good and then everybody trying to knock them off. Something about that is fun for me. But anyways, I just need to be honest and say that because I believe in my Lions video, I was yeah, it'd be cool if you guys win, but I want the chaos. So that's where I'm at. But you guys have the best tradition of every time the Vikings are at home, I always watch the first 5 minutes, because I need to see the clap, I need to see the noise, I need to see the fans, like I need to feel like I'm there. So kudos to you all for that, because I can't miss it. It's like can't miss TV. I need to see all of it. So I love that. But
yeah, I need to see it in person one day, and that's a bucket list thing for me to get to a home game all the way to Minnesota, and that would be great.
Yeah, it's great. And I just like good football. I just like the best of the best. Like it's just fun. And I don't want it to be my team though. Let me just tell you, I don't want it to be my team dealing with the stressful games. I want everybody else's teams to be, because my team's not very good. But anyways, that will change the subject. What do you think the biggest strength of your team is, that like as a fan, you know it, maybe I don't know it because I don't watch every single game and every single down. But what would you say the strength is of this team?
I think it's the fact they play complementary football. I think defense has the offense's back. The offense has the defense's back, even all the way to the special teams. They just play well-rounded football. And, like I go back to where the defense, they play like they've played with each other almost 5 years, it seems like. But really, most of these guys, this is the first year they've all been together. It's a brotherhood. Everyone's playing for each other in that locker room. And they just all have the same goal, and there's no diva mentality. There's no me. There's no I. It's all a family, and just the way they just like if Sam Darnold threw a bad ball the other night against Green Bay, throws a bad pick. Defense goes out there like, okay, all right, well we're gonna hold them to a field goal. They got good field position, but they ain't getting but 3 out of this. So. It's the way they have each other's back. The defense may give up a score, and it's like, okay, well, offense goes out there. It's like, okay, well, let's put another one on the board. Special teams has stepped up tremendously this year, so it's just well-rounded football. How they all just play for each other, and I love it.
Do you all have a return for a touchdown on kickoff?
I don't know. We don't. Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I was reading a weird stat. Maybe it wasn't return for kickoff. Maybe it was return yards on kickoff or something. There's some weird stat floating around about like the new kickoff in field position or something. I don't remember. I saw it on Twitter. It was kind of one of those. I was like, I'm sure Steelers are last, and I just kept it moving. So
I'm sure we are too. I mean, the way the new kickoff thing. I mean, even though it's a new design to it, and it's supposed to be designed for, I guess, some player safety. They're not running all down the field crashing into each other, but they still have the same. They kick the ball off from the same position that they had been. So it's a touchback 9 times out of 10 anyway. So it's very rare that you take the ball out and get any return yards, period, for any team. But I haven't seen. I don't know. That's interesting. I know we're off script for a second, but that's interesting. I need to go back and look and see if anyone has returned it.
I think somebody has. I think somebody has returned it. Who has?
I want to say someone has too. I just can't.
I feel like I watched it pop up on Red Zone.
And I feel like it's been a team that's probably not in the playoffs.
A kickoff. Has anyone returned a kick? First kickoff return, DJ Dallas burns the Bills for 96 yards. Arizona Cardinals.
There we go. They're not even in the playoffs. Yep.
Yeah.
It's I knew it was going to be somebody random. Yeah.
Which I don't know. I mean, whatever. The NFL is so full of shit, because they're like, oh, player safety, we really care about player safety, so we're changing the kickoff. And then you're like, you have the hardest schedules for some of these teams, and they're playing all these games in 10 days. You don't really care that much about player safety. Yeah. You just want to say that when it sounds good, and you want to change the rules. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, you change the rules and you create this narrative around it. But in reality, like you said, the schedule and the way it is, it's like, well, we're making tons of money though on the schedule, and that's why we have 18 weeks now. We've gone from 17 to 18 weeks, and you guys, Houston, Baltimore, Kansas City, all played like a million games in 2 days. It feels like so. They don't care.
No, they don't care at all.
No.
And that's what and especially like my Steelers aren't very good. We're in a rebuilding phase. Like, we don't want to call it a rebuilding phase because we're the Steelers. We don't rebuild. We're in a rebuilding phase. It's just our rebuilding phase. We don't go 5 and whatever, 4 whenever. We still win. We get in the playoffs. But the honest truth is, we're probably whatever. Like, I'm not expecting miracles, you know? If we're in the Super Bowl, like, something went wrong for some of these other teams. Let me just say that. But the problem is that teams like us, we're not good enough to play so many games so close because it's like, we're just not very good. So I'm like, there's no way we're going to win these games. Like, there's just no way because we're scrappy. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't be scrappy if you just played 4 days ago. My body hurts. I'm tired. Like, this is terrible. So, but anyways, you're right. We're way off script. What do you think the biggest weakness is of the team this year? Like, what is the one thing that you kind of worry about that you would probably never really admit you worry about it, but it is something that when you're watching, you're going, oh gosh, let's not do that thing.
Yeah, I talk so much about the defense and how good the defense is, but it's probably the secondary is our weakest link. And mainly because, you know, we have a couple of, you know, veterans back there. Shaq Griffin being 29 years old, which he was brought in on a 1-year deal, a little veteran deal.
Seattle?
Yeah, he was originally from Seattle, bounced around between Houston and Jacksonville.
Okay.
And then So now he's with us. So he's a solid player. You know, but he was never really truly a lockdown guy. And you know, now he's almost 30 years old. He's kind of lost a step. Then you got Stephon Gilmore, who is a legend, who is probably Hall of Fame bound and deserves it. And he's 34 years old, and he's been a mercenary every year for a different team for the last 4 or 5 years. And, you know, we brought him in, you know, unfortunately, after we lost Kyle Blackman to ACL injury for the season, who was a rookie last year. He started last year. He was going to be a starter this year. And then obviously the loss of Kyrie Jackson, who, you know, tragically passed away. So he was more likely probably going to be a starter as well. And then you got to bring in Stephon Gilmore because you lost 2 guys. And Gilmore's done good. Gilly, you know, he's the first part of the season, he surprised me. He got a game-sealing interception in London against the Jets. That was great.
That game.
That was wild too. But he's kind of lost a step here, and he has dealt with a kind of a hamstring injury as well. Okay. I don't want to knock him too bad. We got a good guy in the slot, Byron Murphy, young kid. He's on his second year of a 2-year deal with us, so he'll be a free agent. Our 2 safeties, well, I'll say our 3 safeties, Metellus, and Cam Bonham. You know Cam Bonham. If you know the celebrations, he's like the ringleader of our celebrations. And then Hall of Fame Harrison Smith, who's probably going to retire this season. You know, we've got some young guys, but we got some old guys. It's very staggered. It's kind of balanced. You got 3 young guys, 3 older guys back there, but it gets kind of suspect at times. And I feel like as the season goes on, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what part of the season. It doesn't matter who you play. Stuff gets on film. Things get exposed. Offenses come out there with their scripted plays, and they find the leaks, and it goes for any team. So I think the reason our secondary has gotten by as long as they have is because of the pass rush that we have. But the pass rush has also been kind of, like you said, things get on tape. So these offensive lines have these guys have developed and studied, and they're picking up where the rush is coming from, and the quarterbacks are seeing where the rush is coming from too. I see a lot of guys, especially Jordan Love, his second time playing this year. He was doing a lot of hard counts, just trying to seeing where the pressure was coming from, and he was getting us. You'd see Ivan Pace kind of creep up there, and then he'd look back and change something up, and guys see things on film.
Yeah.
They're in the NFL. They're not stupid. They're in the NFL for a reason. So, I
would say something? This is why I love NFL fans, because I feel like we watch the game a different way.
Yeah.
Than versus college football fans, because the game is different. I get it, but I feel like NFL fans are a little bit more, I hate to say mature, but in a lot of ways I think that that's the right word, is because even I'm on this clock management tirade right now because freaking, oh my God, these I'm like, do y'all not know how to manage a clock? Like, what are we doing? But I think that comes from watching the NFL. Like as soon as my team gets the ball and, it's 3 minutes and 37 seconds, I'm already going, okay, 25 seconds, 25 seconds. Okay, we need okay, we have 2 timeouts. Okay, 2-minute warning. Like I'm already triggering because I'm like, this is what matters. I've realized that that's not normal. so there's and like you're saying about the protections, I'm realizing that more NFL fans pay attention to what's happening at the line of scrimmage than college fans. And it's interesting because I notice it in college because I'm like, how did he not see the guy creeping up? And people are like, the guy creeping up? Like, what do you? I'm like, oh, you didn't see that? Okay. So it's funny that you pointed that out because I agree. I think that's maybe the difference is these guys, they're in the NFL. Like, this is it, right? Like, if you don't know how to read defenses at this point, like, you don't have a job. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
And you see all these quarterbacks in college, they're in a system. Because basically every college offense, I mean, not everyone, I know, but basically the majority of every college offense, is a system. It's not, it's tailored to make the players look good and execute the plays and execute, the system. But once they go on to the NFL, it's totally different, and I know we're getting sidetracked. I won't get sidetracked long, but I try to tell people about Caleb Williams. I'm like, Caleb Williams is a good quarterback. Caleb Williams, him running around and even though he was never pressured in college, but him running around and in circles looks cool. Yeah. But you can't do that in the NFL. You can do that in college against future real estate agents on the other side of the ball, but you can't do that in the NFL when guys are working out all day long and do nothing but watch film. They live, eat, breathe football because they're getting paid to do it at a professional level. I mean, I can tell I tell anybody, but my sons and I have this talk all the time. And it's like, you're playing. It's like, okay, let's say you're Tennessee. You play Alabama once a year. All right. That's a tough game for Tennessee. It's a tough game for Alabama. Both teams are good. Imagine playing those defenses every single week because the best of the best is on the other side of that ball. Yeah, the Titans are terrible, but they got some really good players.
They're still professional football players.
They're still professional football players. And you want to talk about defenses that are insanely good is Tennessee's. Tennessee's defense is insanely good. But it's Caleb Williams running around in circles. He can't do that at the professional level because they're going to get him, and they have, and that's the reason why he's been the most sacked quarterback this season. So. Yeah.
I also think too what happens is, so for me, I don't know. I feel like when you watch football, there's an evolution of how you watch and how you're a fan. Like I remember when I first started, I didn't care about anything. I just wanted a touchdown. Like I didn't care. And then as I've evolved, I've realized too, is when the other team is going to make plays. I think in college football, people don't really know that as often, right? Like people like, and when I watch football, I'm expecting the other team to make plays because I'm realistic. They studied too. They prepared. They did all this stuff. But I feel like in college, when a guy makes a play, everyone's like, oh, he's trash. He's so trash. I'm like, that guy practiced all week too, though. Yeah. It's not, like that's the balance of the game is people are going to make plays. You're going to call a perfect blitz, but the other team practiced this certain blitz all week, so it's not going to work. It's like that's the give and take of football. And I think the more mature of a fan you are, the more you watch it in that capacity. And I think that's why now I'm like, listen, my Steelers are overachieving. Everyone thought we were going to be last in the division. We have a chance, a very slim chance to win the AFC North this year. Absolutely nobody, even Steelers fans, predicted us to be there. So it's like, and that happens because you practice, like you have to go out there and execute. So anyways, it's just refreshing just to hear like the football talk of it all, not just like, we have a really good running back. Yay. So who do you not want to play? Like if you could have your perfect path to the Super Bowl, what teams or team would you absolutely avoid?
I think the automatic would be anyone in your division.
I agree with that.
For us, we have two guys. We have two teams that are in the playoffs. So we have Detroit and Green Bay have both clinched, so they'll both be there. That would be the obvious answer. Yes, I don't want to see those guys again. You already played them twice. You don't want to play them a third time. That's brutal. I would say though, someone who's not in the division someone who is sneaky, someone who has beat us this year, the LA Rams. Um,
They're so sneaky.
I don't like them. It's just something about them. And Stafford is good. He's good. He's good for a reason. Puka Nacua is good. Cooper Kupp, while not having the best season this year, he is still good. That offense they got a really good running game too. The defense is a little suspect. You can take advantage of the holes there and score, but gosh, man, I don't want to see Matt Stafford again. And if we see them again, depending on how Week 18 goes, it could be on the road. And I don't,
true.
I mean, if it lines up to where we have to go play them the first round, fortunately, with our record, if we do see them, there's a good possibility we'd see them at home. But I don't want to see them at all. That's one team I don't want to see. The Commanders are good offensively, and defensively they're pretty good. But they got a rookie quarterback, and that as good as Jaden Daniels, I don't want to take nothing away from Jaden Daniels. As good as Jaden Daniels has been this year, I breathe a little sigh of relief if we ever saw them in the playoffs for whatever reason.
That's fair.
But yeah, the LA Rams, I don't want to see them. I don't want nothing to do with them. I hope they lose.
The Rams are like the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals, as of this recording, aren't in the playoffs, but they are the AFC. The Rams are are what the Bengals are to the AFC. Because it's like, I don't know why. I don't know how. The offense is spectacular, right? You have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and all, like, whatever. You have this like stellar offense, and you're like, I just don't want to see that in the playoffs.
Yeah,
like, I just don't want to have to deal with that.
I don't want nothing to do with that. Yeah, I mean, they got us earlier this year on a short week on the road, and I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm good. I've seen that movie, and it's not good.
I love that. So let's say we are 3 minutes after the Minnesota Vikings win the Super Bowl. You will say, the first thing you will say the Minnesota Vikings won this game because of what? What led them to the Super Bowl? What was the reason why they won the Super Bowl? Like, what do you think the reason will be that they win the Super Bowl this year?
Man,
doesn't that just make you excited just to think about it?
Yeah, I got chills just now, just thinking about it. It's gosh. I gotta take a second just to come back to reality.
Take it all in. Look at all the confetti.
It's gosh almighty. Man, the reason if we win the Super Bowl, the reason we won the Super Bowl, I'm gonna surprise you here. Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was the reason. Because everyone, and I think us Vikings fans as well too, and even if we won't admit it, everyone right now is waiting for him to turn into a pumpkin. And
that's normal, yeah.
And it hasn't happened yet. That's me knocking on wood. It hasn't happened yet, but I know everyone's waiting on it. Us Minnesota fans as well. But I just don't see it happening yet. And if it don't, I think we can take it all the way. I think with everyone around him, the defense as well, backing him up, the offensive player, Justin Jefferson, for crying out loud, being there. I think everything he has, all the tools around him, the confidence he has, the confidence that you see it each week, it just gets more and more and more. The confidence he has around everyone, all the guys around him, what's being said to him in the headset, what's being, you can see it. I mean, he's just
working.
Yeah, he just, I mean, he goes out there and he puts it all out there. He trusts. I mean, he throws some interceptions and. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, that's Sam Darnold." I'm like, no, that's a guy that's hunting down the field. That's a guy who's looking for a big play, and his first read, because he even said it. He came into the league. He said, "Well, my first read's my check down." Okay, in some cases, probably, sure, that's a safe bet. But he's gotten so much confidence here lately that his first read is okay. Where's 18 at?
Yeah,
Right.
Where's 3?
Yeah, where's 3 at?
Which is the right read?
Right, yeah. Okay, where's my tight end at? Okay, they're all covered. Okay, boom, here. All right, Aaron Jones, you're in the flat. Boom, there you go. Okay, so, I mean, we had a big play Sunday. Addison and Jefferson had created so much attention that they completely forgot that we had Jalen Naylor, our wide receiver 3, and he's wide open, 20 yards ahead of him, past the secondary in the end zone, just waiting on the ball, and we scored a touchdown. So, it would be Sam Darnold. It would be Sam Darnold the reason we win the Super Bowl.
And I know at the beginning of the season, I think I messaged you about Addison being kind of noisy, wasn't going the way that it needed to go for him at the beginning of the season. So I'm glad to see, though, that worked itself out, because you need him. Yeah. And he's perfect. And it's like, just hold on a minute, dude. Like, breathe.
Yep.
Calm down. Everything's going to be fine.
Everything's going to work out. Yeah.
Everything will be fine. Like, there's 18 weeks. Like, breathe. It's like, I think that was like week 4 or something. So I'm like, just take a deep breath, dude. Like, give it time. Is there anybody that, when you look at the Super Bowl, that you would prefer to see in the Super Bowl, or you prefer not to see in the Super Bowl?
Give me Kansas City. Give me Buffalo. Give whoever makes it on the AFC. Give them to me. Yep.
Everyone's kind of calling out the Chiefs and the Bills. It's kind of cool to see. So
yeah. I would love to see the Bills, just because neither team has won the Super Bowl. So that would be, someone's winning the Super Bowl.
That would be kind of cool.
I joked to my wife the other night. I was like, if Buffalo and Minnesota make the Super Bowl, Russia will nuke us, and we'll never see what happens. We'll all be dead. We'll never know. Like,
it will be the end of all. It'll be the end.
Yeah, it'll be the end. 2 teams that are 0-4 in the Super Bowl that have never won it, and we'll all just, Armageddon will happen, and horns and trumpets will come in, and yeah. But I would love to see Buffalo, just because of as a fan perspective. Funny. I have no hate towards Buffalo.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Buffalo, just because one of us is going to win it. Obviously, I hope it's us, but if for some reason we didn't and they won, I'm like, you know what a game, hell of a way to see a Super Bowl. 2 teams have never won it. But on the flip side, give me the Chiefs, give me Mahomes, give me Kelsey, give me Taylor Swift, and her 17 camera angles a quarter, and they showing her every time that that Kelsey catches a 2-yard check down or something. Give it to me, bring it all on, because regardless, we're in the Super Bowl. Give me Lamar Jackson running around and we can't get him for some reason, or give me. I don't care, just give me whoever. Give me whoever.
It's so, hearing you say that, it's so funny. It's interesting how the AFC quarterbacks are so different from the NFC quarterbacks. Like, it's just like an interesting, I've been on record as saying, I think the AFC quarterbacks are better than the NFC quarterbacks. And I think I'm going to stick with that, because I feel like they're a little bit more dynamic. You don't know what you're going to get from them. They're just what they are. But you just listed 3 really interesting teams that I think would be interesting to see the Vikings play, because of the style of play, because of the quarterback play. It's just different. So it would be interesting to see. The Chiefs not so much, although Patrick Mahomes scrambles when he needs to. But like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, like that would be interesting to see what that looked like. So
yeah, it would be. Yeah.
Yep. Well, is there anything else you want us to know as we head into the playoffs? Obviously, like I said at the beginning of this, we don't know what seed you're going to get, things like that, who you're going to play. But is there anything that, because new fans will be watching your team play for the first time, they might have seen their team play your team, but let's be honest, we don't have enough time to watch every single team in the NFL every single week. So is there anything you would like people to know about the Minnesota Vikings that they will maybe be shocked to know, or that will maybe, just be like, oh, this is a cool fact. I didn't know that, because I'm excited to watch them now because I didn't know that before.
Probably not a shocking thing. I think everyone probably for the most part knows about it if you're watching football, but just something to keep your eye on down the stretch. Sam Darnold is on a 1-year deal, making $10 million. We drafted what I assume to be the franchise guy, J.J. McCarthy, at number 10. This franchise has never drafted a quarterback with a top 10 pick in the history of the franchise, and they did it this past. They did it this past April with J.J. McCarthy. You have the future of the franchise waiting. You have a guy who was supposed to be the bridge guy. Hey, here's an opportunity. Make the most of it. while we pay you $10 million for 1 year. If he takes us all the way or makes a deep run, it's going to be in a very interesting offseason. Whether we keep him, whether we just, hey, man, thanks for everything.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. Have fun with the Browns, making, or wherever he goes. But it's going to be very interesting to see. And I don't think he's going to the Browns.
Well played though. Well played though. Well played. Well
someone,
done.
someone,
well done.
someone who needs a quarterback will probably.
You guys are going to have another Kirk Cousins situation.
Yeah, except for he's funny. Good. Yeah. Look, I love Kirk when he was here, but I just, it was something about Kirk. He just could not take us to the next level. He was just he was just, he was a subpar guy. He was I like to say he was a 500 guy because, we had these tight games and then we have these tight records. And it was, the 1 year where we were 13-4 2 years ago, and then you lose in the first round.
And it was bad.
It was just very, it was on a 4th and 8, and he throws a 3-yard check down to the tight ends. Like, he was just a very subpar guy.
Awareness.
And it's just really, no matter who's at quarterback, it's just a breath of fresh air to have a guy who hunts down the field, and he doesn't throw picks because he second guesses himself. He throws picks because he goes, I think I can get it in there.
Yeah.
And it's
I always tell people it's one of my I've stopped tweeting on game days with the Steelers because I'm like, they've just pissed me off. But I'm like, can we throw the ball down the field? Like, oh God, I watch so much football and everybody does the same thing except for the Steelers. I'm like, okay, we don't want to throw it down the field. All right, cool. Let's throw it another 7 yards. Great. Yeah. Woo, go offense. Oh, look, another 3 and out.
Well, if you follow me on X, I know you follow me, but if anyone out there watching this and they follow me on X, I do tweet during the games, and it can be entertaining.
Yeah.
It could be basically I wear my heart on my sleeve personally anyway.
You wear your heart on Twitter.
I wear my heart on Twitter, and I get I black out at times. I get a little crazy. To
be fair though, you've never said anything that I'm like, oh, you say things that I would say. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think when you're an honest fan about your team, you're gonna call it out.
Yeah.
Like I'm the same way. Like I will be I'm like, what the hell was that, Mike Tomlin? Or I'll be like, really? Listen, you didn't see it there? I saw it. Like so
my wife loves to say, I mean, because last week is a testament to it, but I'm yelling at the TV. I'm and she's like, Kevin O'Connell can't hear you, right? And I'm like, I know that, but he should. He needs to, and it's like, I remember the last play before because, it was a 2-point game for whatever reason. It shouldn't have been, but, it's a 2-point game there in the end. And, we got a minute, some change left. Green Bay's used all timeouts. It's 3rd and 2. We just got to get 2 yards. And I was like, you know what? Play action and dump it off to the running back in the flat. And sure enough, that's what they did. Cam Akers, which was a great catch because Darnold just kind of rushed the ball
was so bad. Yeah, come on, throw it to him, bro.
And he just he kind of fingertips it, corrals it in, falls to the ground 3 yards past the first down mark. And I look at her and I go, see, I told you, Kevin O'Connell, he heard me, and so but on Twitter, I like to say I'm a good trash talker. I think I credit it to watching a lot of wrestling and seeing guys talk trash on TV, and I just
what's interesting is that why I like to talk trash, because I grew up watching wrestling.
Yeah, a buddy of mine told me that. He said the reason you talk so much trash is because you grew up watching guys do it on Monday nights, and it's like I would talk trash, and like my buddy would be like, oh, here he is again. He's getting ready to cut a promo, like they do on wrestling.
I've never heard that before, because I'm like that too. Like people, and I think it's because I'm a woman. Like people take me so serious, and I'm like, I'm just talking trash. Like I don't like it's not personal.
I love talking trash, and when I played football, as a kid and coming up through school. I wasn't the greatest football player. I was a very shitty football player, but I would talk so much trash, and it's like I remember just remember not getting any playing time, and I got out there on the field on a special teams play, and I made one hit.
Oh, you were that guy.
I was that guy. And I'm a defensive end that never plays defense, and I'm just flying down the field on a kickoff, and I remember hitting some guy, and I stood over top of him, and he goes, "Dude, I ain't seen you all game," and I'm like, "Yeah, but your mom enjoyed the 2 minutes I was out here." Like, I'm that type of guy, and I like to talk a lot of trash. So if you follow me on X, you'll have no matter who your team is, you'll enjoy it. Unless we're playing you, you're not going to enjoy it. But I talk a lot of trash. There's a guy I want to shout him out, Vocal Vike, also known as Rap. He's a big Vikings guy. He's a big Vikings content creator, and he gets on after every game, especially if we win. He will go through all the fan tweets, and he always pulls mine up because mine are always entertaining and to look at, and his live chat's just laughing and going crazy. And I wouldn't say a lot of it's appropriate. So if you're
right,
kid,
that's the thing. Yeah, it's trash talk. Like that.
It's trash talk. Yeah.
That's what this is. So
Yeah.
I've never heard the wrestling thing. Now I'm going to start paying attention to that. Next time I see that, I'm be like, did you used to watch wrestling? Because I did. Like, Monday Night Raw, and then it started happening on Thursday, and then like NWA, and then they split to, I don't know what they're doing nowadays, but anyways,
I grew up watching The Rock and Stone Cold, so that's
same. Drink the beer, and Ultimate Warrior running out with all of his face paint, and Bret the Hitman Hart wearing. Did you wear that pink?
Wore all the pink and the black, with the shades,
right. Like, come on. Anyways, well, I appreciate chatting with you. Thank you for always being willing to chat. And listen, there's no better time to chat than when your team is good. So
that's right. Yeah.
I'm sorry I made the comment about the Lions. If you all win, I won't be upset. Just so you know. If you all win, I will not be upset. But I will probably be live tweeting that game just because I don't have a dog in the fight. And it's so much more fun to watch games sometimes when you don't have a dog in the fight, just to see what happens. And, I hope Eminem is there, and Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson and all the guys, because yes, I need all of it. Bring it all. I need it all.
I would love for Eminem to be there to watch his team lose at home. That would be astounding. This hasn't come out yet. Obviously, this won't come out for a while.
Until afterwards. Yeah.
But I'm going to put a prediction out there, and you know what? Whoever watches this, and if it doesn't go my way, you can roast the hell out of me.
Let me tell you. So this is going to release the week before all the wild card games. So they will see this a few days after the game. So go ahead and make that bold prediction.
Well, if you're watching this now, have fun watching us a week later, because we are taking a week off. We're waiting on who we play in the divisional round, because the Vikings are going to beat the Lions on the road in Detroit on Sunday night in front of Eminem, in front of Skittles, in front of Snickers, in front of all of them. Okay, 15-2, Skull to the bowl. I'll even give you a little score prediction. 28-17. 28-17. Sam Darnold puts his team on his back once again, and Skull to the bowl. If
that happens, I will clip this, and I will make sure that I post it just to give you your moment of like.
That would be great.
He knew it. He called it. He called it exactly. Like, this is what he said. And this is for you, Snickers.
Yeah, it's for all of you. M&M's, all of you. Yep.
I love it. Well, thanks for coming on. I'm sure we'll do something again soon. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate you having me. Like I told you before, I appreciate you thinking of me when you have these projects. It means a lot to me. And I don't get on much. I don't do a lot of content lately. Just been so busy. But I do appreciate the times I get with you and other creators as well. So I appreciate you thinking of me.
Yeah, of course. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely.